There's so many different types of microphones that you can use with your cameras, though not all of them may be the right fit for you necessarily, because it does completely depend on what your use case is. And I do have to say that even for vlogging, even though technically any microphone could suffice, whether it's a lavalier microphone or just any kind of shotgun microphone, as long as it fits your hot shoe or an adapter of the sort, not all of them might actually be the best choice even for that. And in this particular instance, for vlogging, you might not necessarily want something that will get a ton of attention. For example, using a Rode VideoMicro, even though it is fairly small, it is still going to get quite a bit of attention from people, especially if you have a larger camera to accompany it. The Panasonic G7 isn't that big, but it's still big enough that it is noticeable, and with that microphone on top of it, might still look a little bit too bulky and might get just a little bit embarrassing for vlogging. I believe that there is only one option pretty much, at the very least the best option for vlogging on the market, and that has got to be this guy right here. This is the Rode VideoMicro. The smallest microphone that you could get, the lightest one, the most efficient one, doesn't require external power at all. It is very tiny and incredibly light. This is immediately, spoiler alert, the best microphone for vlogging. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The unboxing process is definitely very simplistic. So first, when you open up the box, as you can see, things can get a little bit barren. The packaging looks a little bit odd or just cheap in a way. So inside, you're just going to find your Rode VideoMicro, the shockproof mount. You're going to find the 3.5mm cable, which is interchangeable. So you can use either side with the camera or the microphone, and that'll be just fine. And you'll also find the wind socket, or dead cat as they call it, and obviously the obligatory warranty and instructions manual. Again, Rode's packaging has never been all that impressive, and never really their strong suit by any means whatsoever. The exterior design of this microphone is actually very, very good though, and I believe that this is probably where a good chunk of that budget actually went into. This is only a $60 microphone after all. The microphone itself consists of this metal construction that actually feels very nice, very premium. However, it is still very light. It's obviously the heaviest part of this whole setup here, for the exception of the camera, but I digress. But it is still very light, and even when you attach it to your camera, any weight is barely added to it. It almost feels like it's not there to me at the very least. So this microphone is going to be very tiny. It is going to be this single unit that is powered by the 3.5mm jack. So due to the size and convenience factor of this microphone, it's definitely very stealthy and easy to hide around, even if the wind socket, which is included and does an amazing job, and it is basically required if you're going to be shooting outside, does add quite a bit of a footprint to it. But even then, this is still one of the smallest configurations you can get when it comes to shotgun microphones, and this is definitely my preference. The exterior design is just what I would want out of this, if anything. And also, how simple to use is what partly makes this microphone so special. For so many people, it is literally just plug and go. So you would be able to mount this microphone through the hot shoe mount on your camera. In this case, I'm using a Sony a6400. This is what I have in hand. I'm recording with a Panasonic Lumix G7. Both of them have a hot shoe mount, so you could just mount it on there. And even if you don't have one, you can just get an adapter for it. Maybe some kind of cage that includes a hot shoe mount, or just get a cage and attach the hot shoe mount to it. Also, there are no manual controls to worry about. This is plug and go. You can tweak the decibels, or just how much the microphone can pick up in the settings in your microphone. But on the outside, it doesn't have any knobs, any buttons, nothing to worry about. The microphone is good to go as soon as you plug it in, essentially. And for the most part, for most cameras, the audio is already going to be set up as it should be out of the box, so you might not have to do any sort of tweaking at all. So as a plug-and-go solution, this microphone is perfect. The audio feed is always going to be very clean, at least from what I've noticed, as long as you're at a reasonable distance. So from arm's length, if you're vlogging, that's probably how you're going to be holding this from. It does a great job of picking up your voice. There's this sort of richness coming from it. And the quality is just pretty outstanding for what it is, as a matter of fact. Though now, I would say maybe 2 arms away in terms of length, perhaps 5 feet away, the microphone isn't going to sound very good. However, let's say 2 feet or 2.5 feet, the microphone is still going to pick you up very, very well. And that is good. It's perfect for exactly what it's meant for. Even though it's not particularly rare to find a shock mount or shockproof mount for your microphone, whenever you purchase one for your camera, this is still a very welcome addition. And it's even better the fact that this is so low profile and also just so lightweight. It barely adds any kind of weight to your setup at all. I would just say that this whole setup in general is just the lightest you could possibly find for it, if you opt in for shotgun mic, of course. And this shockproof mount in particular is actually very good when it comes to making sure that you bumping the camera or the microphone into anything isn't going to affect the audio feed at all. You will notice often that without this sort of thing, if your camera or your microphone bumps into anything, you will hear the impact pretty loudly actually. The microphone is going to pick too much of that if you ask me. If this so happens to hit the wall or anything of the sort, this is going to take the impact and you might hear it yourself, but the microphone is not going to pick that up. At the very least, it's going to barely pick it up at all. And that is why this is so useful, because it makes it so that if you have to record yourself in a tight space, this shockproof mount is going to make it so that if you for some reason accidentally hit something, which is very likely if you're shooting in a tight space, that it's not going to damage or affect your audio in any way. So this, again, is a very welcome addition. And now, the setup process for this microphone onto your camera is very simple. And you could just be able to figure that out on your own. However, if you still for some reason need help, this is how I like to do it. So on this particular camera, the A6400, because the screen flips all the way up whenever you want to use this for vlogging, if you put the microphone onto the hot shoe mount, it is going to block the screen. So I did get this little adapter for my camera so that I could set the microphone off to the side, and I believe that this is a perfect configuration. If the cable gets in the way, you can just tuck it underneath this and it won't block the screen at all, even with the wire. When you put this into your hot shoe mount, all you have to do is screw it in until it's tight and nicely fitted, and then you would plug the 3.5mm cable onto the microphone jack. After that, you're going to notice that your microphone might be wiggling a little bit too much. So in order to fix that, just tuck the cable into one of the little slots on the part that you would screw in. And once you tuck that in, it is going to be perfectly stable and it's not going to wobble around. This actually took me quite a while to figure out how to do. And now, afterwards, all you would have to do in software is maybe just to make sure that the preamps are set properly. Some people like to set the preamps at -10 decibels. Sometimes I like to keep it at -12. So with that said, those settings should do just fine for you. It is just so that the microphone doesn't end up picking up too much, or so that it doesn't get too distorted when you're recording audio. And now, right here, I'm running a microphone test so that you can see what it looks like. I'm currently just holding the camera from arm's length right now, and this is what it looks like with the current lens. In case you were wondering, this is the kit lens, 16 to 50mm from Sony, and the microphone is obviously pointing directly at me, and this is what the audio sounds like. There are other things still going around me, such as the washing machine over there on the side running, and also there are people upstairs walking around, and you can still hear that a little bit since the floor is wooden upstairs. However, this microphone probably isn't picking up a lot of that, and the audio should sound fairly clean. So this is what a test from arm's length would sound like. So normally at this point in the video, this is usually when I would go over my complaints and what issues I would have. And in this case, this is a first in a long time. I have zero complaints about the Rode VideoMicro. I think that this is the perfect solution for this sort of thing. And this is the setup I choose to go for, and at the moment, I don't think there's anything that could beat it for myself personally. So this is the perfect product in this regard. Again, this is just my opinion, you may disagree, but I believe that this is the best one in its class. The Rode VideoMicro is absolutely worth it, especially for this price point. You will not find a better microphone for vlogging, in my opinion. Considering the price point, the weight, all of its attributes, it's just too good, and it serves its purpose far too well, in my opinion. And it is very important to note that investing in audio is one of the most important things to invest in when it comes to producing videos. Good audio and bad visuals will still keep the audience in and engaged. However, if you have bad audio and good visuals, you will still be taking me out of your videos for sure. So investing in audio is very, very important, even for vlogs. Vloggers, this is the microphone that you're looking for. Highly recommend it. And if you're interested in purchasing this microphone, then I'll be leaving affiliate links in the description to Amazon so you can go ahead and buy this microphone in the easiest way possible. If you do use any of our links to make a purchase, then we do get a small commission that helps us run things a little more smoothly around here. Were to do that, we would very much appreciate it. Also, we just launched a Patreon recently where for as little as $5 a month, you would be able to join our private Discord server, and we would definitely love to chat with you down there if you would like. So make sure to consider that as well. We will be leaving links to that in the description too. This has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you all later. Enjoy.